Welcome to another edition of Mark's Inspiration. Got the D-Man here, and I'm glad you could join me today. Where did I get that name, the D-Man? They used to call me that when I was a notorious teenager. I was the guy with the long hair and motorcycle rider. Yeah, I was the guy you didn't want your daughter going out with. But I was the guy that everyone's daughter wanted to go out with. So figure that one out. Anyway, today we're going to talk again about the power of association. And yes, no one wanted their daughter to associate with me, nor their sons, but they all wanted to because I was the rebel, the wild man. But the power of association is very important because you become part of what you are around. And we will go on with this article I found on the internet, and it's how to put the power of association to work for you. Excuse me. Your friends that you hang out with, along with the other people that you spend time with, have a tremendous impact on you and your life. Yes, more than you know. The opportunities that are available to you, the choices that you make, even the amount of money in your bank account are all greatly affected by the people around you. It has been said that you are the average of the 5 people that you spend the most time with. Let's look at how you can put the power of association to work for you. That's why they say it's lonely at the top, because it's difficult to find people that are on the same, let's say, wavelength, or I hate to use the word level because that implies some people are better than others. I don't believe anybody is better than others. People are here to have different experiences, and they are where they are in consciousness. So no one is really better or worse. Everyone has their own path to walk here in this, on this planet. So you have to decide what it is you want and find someone who's better at that than you are and spend time with them. When I was younger, I used to shoot a lot of pool. I would find people who were better than I was to play because that made me better. When I was boxing, I found guys who were better than I, and I liked to work out with them. Although I didn't like the way they beat the crap out of me, I knew that I would get better if I worked out with people that were better than me. Now, you also have to give some away. So you need to spend a certain amount of time with people who want to be better at what you're doing. They want that for themselves. So you need to pass that on to them. It has to flow into you from above or from another person who's better than you, but it also needs to flow out of you to someone else. It's like a glass of water. If it sits there for a long time, and you are that glass of water, it becomes stagnant. You have to have fresh water coming in, and the old water needs to flow out. So you need to have fresh knowledge and wisdom flowing into you consistently, and you also need to pass that on or let that flow out to other people. This keeps you fresh. All right, we'll continue. Association matters. Who you associate with is too important to be left to chance. In order to really put the power of association to work for you, you must recognize that you are in control of and solely responsible for choosing who you spend time with. Most people never put the power of association to work for themselves because their choice of who they associate with is primarily driven by convenience and circumstance. It's so much easier to hang around with people who maybe you feel are less than you because that's comfortable. When you start spending time with people who you feel are more than you or better than you, they're not really better than you, but you feel like they are. But they may be better at a certain thing than you are. And when you spend time with those people, it's very uncomfortable. You must be willing to step out of your comfort zone. Very important. And only you can do that. It takes courage. Remember, as I always say, fear is standing between you and everything you desire in life, and only you can face that fear, confront it, and overcome it. The only difference between a hero and a coward is the hero confronts his fear, the coward turns away from his fear. No difference, okay? Only different results, a different ending. It also affects your thinking, your associations. The people that we spend time with have a great impact on our thinking. If the people around us are positive, we tend to be more positive. The inverse holds true as well. Ever notice how if you're not really careful that when you're around negative people, you tend to be more negative as well? Thinking of those around us affects our own thinking. Since our thinking affects our actions, and our actions in turn affect our results, guarding our thinking takes on a special importance. Becoming consciously aware of the thinking of those you're spending time with is the first step towards surrounding yourself with people whose thinking will have a positive impact on your own. And sometimes when you meet people, they will seem to be positive, and they may even continue to put up this positive front. But I will guarantee you, if they are negative inside, if they are empty inside, if they are not fulfilled inside, you will pick this up. You will start feeling negative. You will start feeling empty. That is that person rubbing off on you. And you don't have to spend a lot of time with the person. In today's world of social media and the many applications that you can use to contact and talk to people like Facebook, Google Hangouts, Messenger, Instagram, all those, if you converse with someone just by text messages every day, that you will pick up that person's traits and personality attributes too. Even from that you can pick it up. So very important to discover what is really going on inside of these people. Are they really what they portray themselves to be? You must constantly be aware of that, because you will become part of what you are around, and you will become like these people to a certain degree. You will pick up their attitudes, their personality traits, their habits, many things. I remember I was talking to this girl once, and she would sometimes say, blah, blah, blah. And I thought, well, that's the most ignorant thing I ever heard of. It wasn't a couple months later, when I was going out with this girl, I caught myself doing that. I'm like, what the heck? See, and I didn't like it, but I still picked up on it. I know you've heard a song on the radio that you've hated, and every time you hear it, you shut it off, and then maybe one day down the road, you find yourself singing that song, or it's stuck in your head, or someone says something that annoys you, you don't like it, a certain cliche or a saying or something like that, and you will find yourself later on down the road saying that. That is the power of association. Even though you don't like it, you don't want it, it just kind of automatically sinks into your subconscious, and it makes an impression, an imprint on you. The people you hang around with, they do. Very important. Okay, affects your habits. The habits of the people that we choose to spend the most time with tend to rub off on us. If you choose to spend time with people who are very goal-focused and write their goals down on paper, then chances are, if you're not willing to write your goals down, you soon will be. If those you spend time with tip generously, chances are you do too. If those around us highly value investing in themselves and are focused on growth personally and in their business, then we tend to do the same. Very true. Just like each of the planets has a gravitational pull on their surroundings, our friends have a gravitational pull on us. This isn't to say that we will become exactly like our friends in every detail, or that all of our friends have the exact same habits. However, the dominant habits of those that we spend time with will tend to rub off on us over time. Very true, very true. You become part of what you are around. The key to really putting the power of association to work is to ensure that the average of the 5 people we're spending the most time with is pulling us up instead of pulling us down. When you're consciously aware of the impact that those around you have on your life, you gain the ability to put the power of association to work for you. This is one of the key differentiators that distinguishes highly successful people from the masses. And this article was from a woman by the name of Amy Turner. And I found it to be very informative and very true. Think about your life, certain times in your life when you were hanging around with certain people that you don't hang around with today. Why is that? Probably because you're not doing the same things that they are doing. You change careers, you change your mindset. Maybe you used to drink and party or do drugs, and now you don't do that anymore. Those people will fall out of your life. As I've said before, and I'm sure you've heard, if you want to know what a person is like, look at their friends. Who do they spend the most time with? Who do they hang around with? What are their friends like? If they have friends that are highly successful, motivated and positive thinking attributes, then more than likely this person that you're wondering about is like that too. If they have friends who go to work 40 hours a week, come home and watch TV and complain about the affairs of the world and how terrible everything is and how everything is someone else's fault, then probably they are like that too. Okay, that's just the way it is. Eagles don't fly with buzzards or vultures, and wolves don't run with lambs. They eat the lambs. I saw an old Indian proverb or parable one time, and it said, inside of me lives a wolf and an eagle. Which one will dominate? And the answer was, the one I feed the most. So what are you feeding today? Are you feeding the eagle or the wolf? Which one are you feeding? You can't sit around and watch pornography all day and expect to be successful and not be dominated by your desire for sex with women. It just doesn't work that way. You're feeding the wrong entity within yourself. I believe inside of us there's God and there's the devil, if you want to look at it that way, if you want to use those terms. Which one will dominate my life or control my life? The one I feed the most. What am I putting into myself today? Is it something of value, or is it something that gives me pleasure? Am I seeking pleasure over value? He who loves pleasure will suffer want. Now, that doesn't mean you can't have pleasurable experiences, but he who loves pleasure, when you love something, you're focused on it completely all the time. And I've gotten myself in trouble before too. I love pleasurable experiences, but you have to keep it all in perspective. Everything needs to be kept in perspective. If anything becomes too important, it can be even something good. If you start seeking it too much, instead of being focused on your center, your mission, your God, your higher power, your whatever you believe in, then that thing will pull you away from your genuine purpose, your mission, and your fulfillment in life will drizzle down rapidly. So it's always important to keep in mind and be aware of what you're focused on. What are you seeking? What are you pursuing? Think about that today. That's all we have for today. Thanks for joining me. Smash that like button, subscribe, and I will talk to you tomorrow.